Santa, tell me if you're really there. Don't make me fall in love again if you won't be here next year. Santa, tell me if he really cares, 'cause I can't give it all away if he won't be here next year. Feeling Christmas all
Hey Twizzlers! So for this week's video, as I promised, we are doing Christmas decorations because it's that time of the year where we put away our pumpkins and take out our trees. This is my super cheap Christmas decor video and I really hope you guys like it, because instead of going to the store every year and just buying brand new decorations and spending a ton of money, why not use what we already have at home? You have a sweater that you're not really into anymore, but it's a really holiday-like sweater, or it screams Christmas. Why not make it into a pillow? I'm going to recycle an old DIY project to take it from Halloween to Christmas, and it's totally cute and super festive. And instead of buying a super expensive wreath, we can seriously make a wreath for under 20 bucks. And I hope you guys saw last week's video, because if you didn't, you're missing out on a giveaway. See you guys next week. Love you guys. So for my first project, I'm going to grab these bottles. I did a few videos ago, so if you want to see that, you can click the bottles. And I'm going to grab my white spray paint and just prime the bottles. So when the bottles are primed and dried, I'm going to grab my glitter snow, which is basically snow paint, and I'm just going to grab a brush and put a generous amount of it on the bottles. And at first it doesn't look like much, but it's going to look amazing. When it dries, it looks exactly like snow, and the glitter just gives it something extra. And I mean, who hates glitter? While you wait for your bottles to dry, you can print out some decorations. I just wrote joy in this really awesome candy cane font I found on thefont.com. Then I googled some matching ornaments and printed them out. And then we're gonna Mod Podge them onto the bottle. Now you're done. And to display them, I got my pine cones that I also use for my Halloween decorations, and I thought it looked so festive. To start my wreath, I got my deer antlers at Michael's and started to spray paint them with my yellow spray paint that I had left over from another DIY project. Midway, I decided that really wasn't the color I wanted for my Christmas wreath, so I went back to Michael's and got some 24 karat gold colored spray paint, and it was the most perfect color. Next, I grabbed some glitter spray paint, which is literally glitter spray, and it is the most amazing thing ever because, again, who hates glitter? And I just put a super thick layer of it all over the antlers. Next, I grabbed some brown acrylic paint and put a very thin layer on top of the flat part of the antlers so it can still show the glitter underneath and give it some more texture, but I kind of wanted it to look like Rudolph. Then, because I had a hard time finding something I wanted to be the red nose, I found this kind of DIY ornament thing in AC Moore and figured it'll be the perfect big red nose. So I painted it with red acrylic paint, just made it super thick, and there goes my Rudolph. Next, I grabbed my wreath. I put the antlers on top and got my wax thread that I used in a previous DIY, and I tied the antlers down. Since they're really isn't a way to glue something down to just a few branches.
Won't be here next year. Santa, tell me if he really cares, 'cause I can't give it all away if he won't be here next year. I wanna have him beside me like
Then, of course, because I had a ton of pine cones left, I decided to glue some to the wreath and give it the final touches. And last but not least, we're putting some snow glitter to frost the tips of the wreath. So next is the pillows, and I got all my materials from Joann's, and my fabric actually has this really pretty snowflake design on it, which I love. So basically what I'm gonna start doing is lay out the fabric and measure it against the pillow, cutting 2 inches on each side extra. So first I'm gonna take my fabric, flipping it inside out, and putting the ribbon on the inside and then pinning it so that way I can have really pretty ribbon edges, and to make sure everything's in a straight line it's really easy to use these pins. And it is probably way easier to sew this by hand than by sewing machine. And I wouldn't suggest gluing with ribbon because sometimes the glue will leave like a wet stain on certain materials, and definitely on a very like shiny material it'll look wet all the time.
I wish I could forget what you did last December. You left my heart a mess, but you blew it. How could you do?
BTW, you don't need a vinyl cutter or a big heat press machine. You can just use transfer paper and an iron. It does the same thing. I just got a little fancy. And since this is a letter to Santa pillow, I'm just going to fold over the rest of my material, put in a few stitches, and my pillow is done.
Last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away.
For my next pillow, I'm just going to make a huge pouch, put a big snowflake on it, stick the pillow in, put a few buttons on the back, and pillow number 2 is finished.
I'll give it to someone special.
And last but not least, for the easiest pillow, you grab your sweater that you're not 100% fond of, and you put the pillow inside and just start folding the arms so that way you don't have to cut anything off, because this is like a knitted sweater and it will literally just fall apart in front of your eyes if you cut it. So folding it to the pillow would be way easier. Even if it has a hood, just stick it in, and all you have to do is zigzag sew the bottom and the top, and you're done.
That's what you said. I should have known better. You broke my heart again. Boy, you blew it. How could you do it? Do it. Oh, yeah. Last Christmas I gave you my heart.
And since this is a letter to Santa pillow, get off my foot, Kirby, please. I want my socks. Give me my foot back. Oh.
Yeah, when she's just so monotone. Sometimes it's just me and all my bottles all alone. I ain't coming back this time.
I can't believe it. It's so amazing.